We were discussing the sample question paper for standard maths. Question number 18th. We have case study, second case study. It's based on scale factor and similarity. How are the two related? So this is something which I think I had told to Mark in your textbook as well. When you have similar shapes and you find out the ratio of the corresponding sides, the ratio is referred to as the scale factor. So this is what's given here. A scale drawing of an object is the same shape of as the object but a different size. So whenever you are making a representation, scale drawing kar rahe ho aap. One such example would be map of any place. It is a scale drawing of the actual place, and it is as the same shape as the actual place. The boundaries are the same, but they have been marked or shown in a different size. And that size is chosen based on a scale, which is actually the ratio. So scale of a drawing is comparison of the length used on drawing to the length it represents. तो अगर हम मैप की एग्जांपल लेते हैं तो जो स्केल होगा वो होगा लेंथ ऑन द मैप इज टू द लेंथ or the distance between two places on the map to the distance between two places in actual on the ground. Then the scale is written as a ratio. Similar figures पे जा रहे हैं, ये इन्होंने describe किया है what's the scale factor and what's similarity and how they are related. So similar figures are actually decided, or we say that two shapes will be similar if their sides are in the same ratio. The dimensions are in the same ratio. That will give you the scale factor. And the scale factor could be fractional number or a whole number. Means अगर magnify किया गया है या फिर साइज को रिड्यूस किया गया है. इन्होंने यहाँ पे 3-4 केसेस डिस्क्राइब किए हुए हैं. इफ वन शेप कैन बिकम अदर यूजिंग रीसाइजिंग. हम रीसाइज करते हैं एक शेप को तो वो दूसरी के बराबर. अब रीसाइज करने का मतलब है उसको हम लार्ज भी कर सकते हैं, उसको हम रिड्यूस भी कर सकते हैं इन साइज. In that case, we say that the two shapes are similar. जब हम resize करेंगे तो जो effect होगा वो सारी dimensions पे पड़ेगा. हम सिर्फ एक side को नहीं enlarge या reduce कर सकते. Overall पूरी की पूरी जो shape होगी उसको enlarge करना है या पूरी shape को reduce करना है. तो सारी sides effect होंगी. Then rotation or turn. The shape could be rotated. You could see that the shape is exactly the same, but it's been rotated. Then it's maybe it has been flipped. उसको हम reflection बोल देंगे. इन्होंने टेक्निकल टर्म भी दी है और आपको जनरल टर्म भी दी है. रोटेशन विल एक्चुअली बी दी टेक्निकल टर्म, लाइक टर्मिनोलॉजी में हम जो यूज करते हैं. और टर्न मतलब उस शेप को सिर्फ टर्न कर दिया, अगर आपको किसी को वैसे समझाना है कि रोटेशन क्या होती है. रिफ्लेक्शन वुड मीन द शेप हैज बीन फ्लिप्ड, मे बी वर्टिकली फ्लिप्ड और मे बी हॉरिजॉन्टली फ्लिप्ड. दैट वुड बी रिफ्लेक्शन. एंड ट्रांसलेशन और स्लाइड. इसमें होगा कि आपको आप उसकी पोजीशन चेंज कर रहे हो. ट्रांसलेशन का मतलब उसकी पोजीशन चेंज हो रही है, तो सारी की सारी शेप एक प्लेस से दूसरी प्लेस पे शिफ्ट हो जाएगी. Then two shapes are similar when one can become the other after resize, flip, slide or turn. Then they have given you examples here. The first one is the same that I was mentioning. The model of a boat is made on the scale 1:4. So 1:4 actually tells you the ratio of the values on the scale to the actual measurements. The model is 120 centimeters long. The full size of the boat has width 60 centimeters. What is the width of the scale model? आपको जो मॉडल है उसकी width find करनी है. तो स्केल जो आपको दिया है वो 1:4 है. 1 रेफर करेगा ऑन मॉडल के लिए, measurements on the model, and the denominator 4 refers to the actual measurements. So based on this, I think you can find out. This is a question which you have done in 8th standard also. Ratio and proportion का question है आपके पास. अगर आपको बता दिया है कि boat की actual width 60 centimeters है, full size, then what is the width on the model? This is how you will solve. Maybe you have done this. Then second one, what will affect the similarity of any two polygons? ऊपर से जो आपको उन्होंने डिस्क्राइब किया है सिमिलैरिटी के बारे में, based on that you can answer this. They are flipped horizontally. Flipping के केस में सिमिलैरिटी होती है हमारे पास, they are dilated by a scale factor, enlarged, they are translated down, size has been reduced, then they are not the mirror image of one another. Out of these, which is going to affect the similarity? फर्स्ट अगर हम केस लेते हैं, अगर शेप को फ्लिप किया गया है वो सिमिलर रहेंगी, डायलेट कर दे तब भी वो सिमिलर रहेंगी, इट मींस एनलार्जिंग बाय अ स्केल फैक्टर, ट्रांसलेटेड डाउन मींस उनका साइज रिड्यूस किया गया है बाय सम स्केल फैक्टर, इवन देन द शेप्स विल रिमेन सिमिलर, दे आर नॉट द मिरर इमेज ऑफ वन अनदर. नाउ समथिंग आई वुड लाइक यू टू नो इज, आई एम नॉट अवेयर ऑफ दैट मच अबाउट मिरर्स, but one thing that I was reading about is that in case of a mirror, the image is either enlarged or reduced. सो अगर मिरर इमेज नहीं है तो साइज एनलार्ज या रिड्यूस नहीं हुआ, मिरर इमेज नहीं है मीन साइज वेरी कर गया, देयर इज नो रेशो in the sizes. So in that case, the similarity will be affected. There is a possibility that the shapes or the polygons given may not be similar anymore if they are not making mirror images of each other. In either of the first three cases, it is possible, like the shapes will be similar. If they are flipped, if they are enlarged, if they are reduced, they will be similar. But if they are not mirror images, they will not be similar. Then if two similar triangles have a scale factor of A is to B with statement regarding the two triangles is true. Now you could either use your knowledge of what you know about similar triangles, or you can check these results one by one. Out of these, the second one is actually true. ये हमने basic के paper में भी I think discuss किया था, that the ratio of the sides of the similar triangles, if are in the ratio A is to B, that will be the scale factor, and the altitudes will also have the same scale factor. This can be proved, like you can prove this. अगर आपके पास दो similar triangles हैं और उनका scale factor A is to B है, you can actually prove the second result, that the altitudes have the ratio A is to B. The others you can check the others. एंगल बाई सेक्टर्स के बारे में नहीं पढ़ा हमने. अगर हम मीडियंस की बात करें, मीडियंस की भी रेशो वही आती है जो साइड्स की होगी, A is to B. देन अगर आप पेरीमीटर्स की रेशो निकालते हो तो वो भी वही आएगी, A is to B. You can check that. D part, the shadow of a stick 5 meters long is 2 meters. At the same time, the shadow of a tree, this is an exercise question. सेम टाइम पे दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स की अगर हम शेडो मेजर करते हैं तो प्रोपोर्शन जो होगा वो सेम होगा फॉर द ऑब्जेक्ट्स लेंथ और हाइट टू इट्स शैडोज लेंथ. तो this will be done by writing down that the two triangles formed will be similar and hence the sides will be in proportion, and then you can find out the shadow of the tree. E part, below you see a student's mathematical model of a farmhouse roof with measurements. The attic floor ABCD in the model is a square. Now this is a little tricky here. Now if you look at the house given here, उन्होंने सिर्फ attic का model आपको दिखाया हुआ है ABCD, which is a square prism. अब I hope आपको पता हो prism, sorry, it's a square pyramid. Pyramid means you have a polygon on the base, और उस पॉलीगन की सारी साइड्स पे ट्राइंगल्स बने होते हैं. उन ट्राइंगल्स का एक कॉमन वर्टेक्स होता है ऊपर. तो यहाँ पे अगर आप ABCD चेक करो, ABCD इज द बेस ऑफ दैट एटिक, इट्स अ स्क्वायर, एंड हर साइड पे एक ट्राइंगल नजर आ रहा है विद कॉमन वर्टेक्स ऑन द टॉप एट T, विच इज एक्चुअली द टॉप ऑफ द हाउस, द पीक पॉइंट. तो ये पिरामिड है, स्क्वायर पिरामिड. उसके अंदर बीम्स लगाए गए हैं फॉर सपोर्टिंग द वॉल्स. यस
Ma'am, please refresh the screen.
Okay. Can you see now?
Yes, ma'am.
So below is the mathematical model here. So ये यहाँ पे हाउस दिखाया हुआ है, उसके साथ उन्होंने उसका एटिक का स्ट्रक्चर शो किया है एज अ ज्योमेट्रिकल मॉडल. तो पूरा का पूरा जो एटिक का स्ट्रक्चर है वो पिरामिड की शेप में है, whose base is a square ABCD, एंड अंदर वो डिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं कि बीम्स लगाई गई हैं सपोर्ट करने के लिए. बीम्स दैट सपोर्ट द रूफ आर नाउ slanting, all the roofs are triangular slanting shapes. Those have been supported by a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism is a cuboid. क्यूबॉइड को बोलते हैं रेक्टेंगुलर प्रिज्म. सो दैट इज EFGH KLMN. अंदर आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे डॉटेड डॉटेड लाइंस शो की हैं. EFGH KLMN ये बीम्स हैं जो सपोर्ट कर रही हैं वॉल्स को. The measurements are given and they have indicated that these are the midpoints. EFGH are the midpoints of AT, BT, CT and DT. ये जो स्लांटिंग लाइंस आपको नजर आ रही हैं पिरामिड की जो एजेस हैं उनके मिड पॉइंट्स पे हैं पॉइंट्स EFGH. तो अगर हम ट्राइंगल ABT कंसिडर करते हैं, ये जो फ्रंट पे ट्राइंगल बन रहा है आपके पास ओवर हियर, इस ट्राइंगल की अगर हम बात करें, E is the midpoint of side AT, so these two parts are equal, and F is the midpoint of side BT, तो ये equal है. Sides are in the same ratio, that would mean EF is parallel to the base. आप BPT apply कर सकते हो, आप similar triangles लगा सकते हो यहाँ पे. All the edges of the pyramid have a length of 12 meters. तो pyramid जो आपको दिया हुआ है इन्होंने indicate भी किया है, pyramid की dimensions भी indicate की हुई हैं 12 meters. Base is a square, so all four sides will be equal. जो triangle की sides हैं वो भी 12 meters हैं, so the triangles formed will be equilateral. Now they are asking you a question: what is the length of EF, where EF is one of the horizontal sides of the block? तो आपको इसकी length find out करनी है. What do you think? Anyone?
Ma'am, 6 centimeters.
That's correct. How did you find your answer? Right now you have MCQ, so there is no problem. You don't have to explain how you obtained this answer. But in case अगर यही question इस तरह का 1 mark में आ जाता, तो आपको explain करना था कि ये answer कैसे आया, 6 कैसे आया.
मैम प्रिज्म एक इक्विलेटरल ट्रायंगल होता है,
वैसे
तो मैम
यहाँ
उसकी
पे आपके
साइड
पास, हाँ जी हाँ जी, all sides are equal. All sides are not equal actually.
Yes,
Rectangular prism है ना, rectangular prism है तो जो faces होंगे वो rectangular consider किए जाएंगे. Rectangular prism actually is a polyhedron in which the top and the base are rectangles in shape and the lateral faces are all parallelograms. So right now I don't think that helps you, but looking at the triangle the triangle that contains EF, the one I was referring to, ABT. Just consider this triangle. इसकी sides 12 meters हैं, तीनों sides. उन्होंने कहा है कि पिरामिड की जो edges हैं वो 12 meters हैं. अब इन दोनों sides पे आपके पास mid points indicated हैं E and F. E is the midpoint of side AT and F is the midpoint of side BT. You could apply midpoint theorem or looking at the ratio of the sides now. Smaller triangle or larger triangle की अगर आप sides की ratio check करते हो, they will be same because the two triangles are similar. यहाँ पे 2-3 results apply हो रहे हैं. By SS you can say that the triangles are similar. SAS actually. Is that right? The two triangles are similar. So the ratio of the third
Yes.
side will also be same as the other two. EF over AB will be equal to 1:2. From there, you can find out the length of EF, or you could apply simply the midpoint theorem. The line segment which joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and is equal to half of it. And we have proved BPT and midpoint like side by side. Using BPT, we have proved midpoint theorem. Question है आपकी exercise में, we use the converse of BPT to prove the midpoint theorem, and we use the BPT theorem to prove the converse of midpoint theorem. यहाँ पे दोनों से आप आंसर दे सकते हो. Either you can use the similarity of the smaller triangle with the larger triangle, or you can directly apply midpoint theorem. दोनों से आपके पास आंसर आ जाएगा. Then you have the third case study. application of parabolas, highway, overpasses, underpasses. Now, there is this highway which is having an overpass or underpass. I don't see a road going up above it, but it's an underpass. And the shape that you can see here, the curve, it's representing a parabola. So based on that, now they have described what a parabola is. The parabola is actually a graph of a quadratic equation. Parabolas are symmetric about a vertical line known as the axis of symmetry. जो पैराबोला बनता है, it is symmetrical. सिमेट्री, लाइन ऑफ सिमेट्री आपको पता है, तो पैराबोला की भी एक लाइन ऑफ सिमेट्री बनती है और वो लाइन ऑफ सिमेट्री पास करती है पैराबोला के वर्टेक्स से. पैराबोला का वर्टेक्स होगा पैराबोला का टर्निंग पॉइंट. तो पैराबोला का आइदर द हाईएस्ट पॉइंट और द लोएस्ट पॉइंट डिपेंडिंग ऑन द शेप ऑफ द पैराबोला. एक्सट्रीम पॉइंट जो होगा उसका टर्निंग पॉइंट इज द इजीएस्ट रेफरेंस व्हिच वी कुड keep in mind to understand what vertex is. इन्होंने describe किया है the axis of symmetry runs through the maximum or minimum point of the parabola which is called the vertex. So they have described here दो parabolas इन्होंने draw किए हैं. एक है आपका upward facing, एक है आपका downward facing. जो upward facing है it comes to a lowest point and then goes back up again. जो minimum point है, from there you can draw a vertical line which will be the line of symmetry for this parabola, and it always passes through the vertex of the parabola. और उसको हम axis of the parabola भी बोल देते हैं, उस axis of symmetry को. Same way they have downward facing parabola, उसका होगा highest point जहां से parabola turn करके नीचे की तरफ वापस आएगा. It goes up, there comes the highest point and then it goes back down again. The highest point will be called the vertex. Then if the highway overpass is represented by this quadratic polynomial, then its zeros are. Although it has nothing to do with the picture, but the one thing you know is अगर कहीं पे भी आपके पास curve बनती है, इस shape की curve बनती है, it could be wide enough or it could be narrow enough. तो अगर ऐसी curve बन रही है किसी भी direction में, ऊपर की तरफ, नीचे की तरफ, either left or right facing, then that curve is a parabola. अगर हम उसके लिए equation लिखते हैं तो हमारे पास क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल बनेगा. तो यहाँ पे इन्होंने उस हाईवे वाले ओवरपास की जो कर्व है उसके लिए आपको एक क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल दिया है और पूछा है इसकी जीरोस क्या हैं. वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन, फैक्टराइज इट एंड फाइंड आउट द जीरोस. You will have your answer. The answers are actually very having same value. So be careful with the signs. Zeros जब निकालते हैं तो signs का ध्यान रखना. Factors बनेंगे x minus 4, x plus 2. So zeros will be 4 and minus 2. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the highway overpass is represented graphically. Zeros of a polynomial can be expressed graphically. ये हमें पता है. The number of zeros of a polynomial is equal to, ये आपका जो polynomials की first exercise है, I think, उस पे based है. How do we find out how many zeros will a polynomial have? Just by looking at its graph. अगर हमें polynomial का graph दिया हुआ है और हम देख सकते हैं उस graph की intersection with x-axis and y-axis, how can you identify the number of zeros? 1 mark question आता है ये. आप अगर आप सैम्पल पेपर्स चेक कर रहे हो या 10 ईयर पेपर चेक कर रहे हो, लास्ट ईयर भी क्वेश्चन था. इवन लास्ट ईयर स्कूल जो सेकेंड टर्म एग्जाम हुआ था उसमें भी ये क्वेश्चन था. देयर वाज अ ग्राफ, पॉलिनोमियल का ग्राफ बना हुआ था, vertical axis, horizontal axis. The students had to identify the zeros from the graph, not just the number of zeros, but the zeros, actual zeros. Yes, the points of intersection with x-axis. The point of intersection of the polynomial with x-axis will give you the number of zeros, and from those points, if you can identify what's the value for x, those values will be the zeros. जो बेसिक में था वो ये था, जीरोस आइडेंटिफाई करनी थी ग्राफ से. तो जहां पे ग्राफ एक्स एक्सिस को इंटरसेक्ट करता है वहां से पता चल जाएगा कितनी जीरोस हैं, और अगर हम उस पॉइंट की रीडिंग बता दें, एब्सिसा रीड करना है, दैट विल टेल यू द जीरो, what will be the value of x for which the point intersects, for which the graph intersects x-axis. Graph of a quadratic polynomial, again उन्होंने ऊपर ये पैराग्राफ में लिखा था कि जो पैराबोला होता है वो किसका ग्राफ होता है, उसको उल्टा करके पूछा इन्होंने. क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल का ग्राफ कैसा होगा? The answer will be parabola. The representation of highway underpass whose one zero is 6 and the sum of zeros is 0. अब ये क्वेश्चन सिंपल है, आपको बताना है highway underpass, this will be a parabola. और इसकी रिप्रेजेंटेशन जो होगी, रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पैराबोला इज अ क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल। तो आपको क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल फाइंड करना है जिसकी एक 0 6 दी है और सम ऑफ जीरोस जो है वो 0 है। सो अल्फा इज 6 एंड अल्फा प्लस बीटा इज 0. You have to find out the polynomial. What will be the answer?
X square minus 36, second
X
part.
square minus 36. That's correct. The number of zeros that the polynomial this can have. So this is a polynomial here. Let's simplify. This is the polynomial that you have. How many zeros it can have? This you can find out. Now, this is actually based on, I think, chapter 4 quadratic equation में जहाँ पे हम roots find out करते हैं. The maximum zeros this can have is 2. But right now, the polynomial given to you, how many zeros it can have? That result actually is applicable to एनी क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल। जो स्टैंडर्ड रिजल्ट है हमारे पास वो ये है कि अगर आपके पास कोई क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल है, द मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ जीरोस इट कैन हैव इज 2, बट राइट नाउ द पॉलिनोमियल गिवन टू यू, हाउ मेनी जीरोस डज इट हैव? द वन इन हैंड राइट नाउ, डज इट इवन हैव एनी जीरोस? जीरोस मींस x की वो वैल्यू जिससे ये जीरो बन जाए। जीरो की डेफिनेशन यही होती है ना, the value of the variable for which the polynomial becomes equal to 0. So is there any value of x which will make this expression equal to 0? You can check
No
it by
zeros will be there, ma'am.
You can check it by looking at the discriminant, whether or not it's going to have any roots. Zeros of a quadratic polynomial are actually the roots of the quadratic equation. तो अगर हमें इसके zeros find करने हैं, zeros of this are same as roots of x square minus 4x plus 8 equal to 0. Now tell me if that equation has any roots. D is negative. So do we have any roots? No.
No, ma'am, no real
The
root.
answer will be 0. अगर question simply होता the number of zeros a quadratic polynomial can have, then the answer is at most 2. There may be no zero, there may be one zero, identical हो सकती हैं दोनों zeros, तो zero एक ही होगी but वो repeat हो रही है. Then two zeros, two distinct zeros. 3 cases हैं आपके पास. अब आप compare करो chapter 4 को इसके साथ. When the discriminant is less than 0, the polynomial or the quadratic equation has no roots. That means the polynomial will have no zeros. If the discriminant is equal to 0, they are going to have two equal roots. Root एक ही होगा but repeat हो रहा होगा. उस केस में polynomial की एक ही zero होगी. अब repeating twice, there is only one value of x which will make that expression equal to 0. Then if the discriminant is greater than 0, you will have two distinct roots. That will mean that the quadratic polynomial will have two distinct zeros, maximum 2. I hope this makes sense to you what I'm trying to explain here. Go over this, relate your chapters. आता नहीं है माइंड में कि हम वहां से चेक कर सकते हैं. Now, fourth case study. This one is very simple. The picture is just for presentation. There is a 100 meters race. A stopwatch was used to find the time that it took a group of students to run 100 meters. This is the table given here, the time in seconds and the number of students. You have to look at the table and then answer the questions. Statistics का question है आपके पास. First one is to find out the mean time taken by the students to finish the race. So you can quickly find out the mean for this. Then what will be the upper limit of the model class? ये आपको वैसे भी आ जाता है, class देके पूछ लेते हैं, data देके, simple 1 mark में. Table of values, write down the upper limit of the model class. 1 mark का question बन सकता है. यहाँ पे MCQs हैं. Can you just tell me which of the classes is the model class? Model class कैसे identify करते हैं? The one with the highest frequency.
Frequency.
जिसकी frequency सबसे ज़्यादा है वो class. 40 to 60 is your model class, and then what is the upper limit? You can answer now. Question यहाँ पे estimate करने के लिए बोला है, but you actually have to calculate the mean. आप calculate करके find कर सकते हो mean. You have two methods. यहाँ पे आपने MCQs में आपको options दी हुई हैं. आप अपना जो काम होगा सारा rough work में करोगे. You're not going to show your calculations. You're just going to mark the answer. So right now, if you want, you can calculate the answer in the working column by step deviation method, which is no more in your syllabus. Because उससे values बहुत reduce हो जाती हैं. यहाँ वैसे जरूरत नहीं है. Anyone who can quickly tell me what was the way to find out the mean? Revision ही हो जाएगी अभी. What will be the first step when we want to find out the mean for grouped data?
We will find FIXI.
These are the values for the frequencies. We want to find out XIs, which are actually the class marks. So midpoints आपको find करने हैं classes के. Those will be 10, 30, 50, 70, and 90. And then we find out FIXI. This will be your direct method where you directly multiply the frequencies with the corresponding class marks. And then you find the sum of these products, the sum of the frequencies. I think it's already given to you. You divide the two and you find out the mean. Summation of the products and the summation of the frequencies will tell you what the mean is. If you want to go ahead and use shortcut, then you will have to estimate one of the midpoints as the assumed mean, and then you can do that. The construction of cumulative frequency table is useful in determining which of these.
Median.
Median में हम cumulative frequency बनाते हैं. The sum of the lower limits of median class and model class. How do we find out the median class? अब ये क्वेश्चन देखो साथ साथ होता जा रहा है. आप cumulative frequency find करोगे because उसकी help से पता चलेगा कि median कौन सी क्लास में होगा. तो आप जब cumulative frequencies निकाल लोगे, after that, how do we find out the median class? The total number of observations is not given. 18, 31, 40. So there are 40 observations here. Let's find out the cumulative frequency. 8, 18, 31, 37, and 40. These are your cumulative frequencies. Now, can you tell me which of these is the median class? No one remembers. Strange.
40 to 60.
That's correct. 40 to 60. The total frequency, capital N or summation Fi, will be divided by 2. The answer comes out to be 20. And then you see where does that half of the frequencies lies in the list of CF. Cumulative frequencies में कौन contain करता है half of the frequencies को. So 20 is contained in this particular value. So your median class will be same as your model class, and then you can answer. How many students finish the race within 1 minute? ये है आपके पास 60 seconds, तो यहाँ पे 1 minute हो रहा है. तो ये वाली जो 3 class intervals हैं, these tell you the number of students who completed the race within a minute. मिनट ऑनवर्ड्स अगली क्लासेस हैं. 1 मिनट या उससे ज्यादा टाइम कितने बच्चों ने लिया है? 9 स्टूडेंट्स. 9 स्टूडेंट्स हैव टेकन टाइम equal to 1 minute or more. The ones which have taken less are these. Now after this we have 2 marks questions. All the questions are compulsory. There are internal choice in some questions, and then you have to attempt one. 21st question. I gave a similar question in the test as well. The bells ring at interval of 4, 7, and 14 minutes. The bells ring together at 6 a.m. And what's the next time when the bells ring together again. So you find the LCM of the time, and then according to that, you can find out after 6 a.m. what will be the next time at which the bells ring again. So I think ये तो orally हो जाएगा. 4 और 7 का LCM आएगा 28, 28 और 14 का LCM आएगा 28. So after 28 minutes, 28 a.m. the bells will ring again. Find the point on x-axis which is equidistant. Point on x-axis, ordinate will be 0, and then you can apply distance formula. Or the second one, PQ are 2 points. Find the coordinates of point R on PQ such that PR is to Q, PR equals to twice QR. आपके पास PQ है -2, 5 and 3, 2. There is a point Q lying on this line segment such that PR is twice the size of QR. From here, you can find out the ratio of PR is to QR. And then you can apply the section formula in order to find out the coordinates of point R. This again will be decided beforehand out of the 2 questions, which one will be easier and quicker to do. I think the first one is a better option in this case for 2 marks. My personal opinion. 23rd question, find the quadratic polynomial whose zeros are given. Very simple question. You can find out the sum of the zeros from here, product of zeros, and then you can find out the quadratic polynomial. Next one is construction. Exercise का question है आपके पास. Values change की हुई हैं. You have to draw a line segment AB 9 centimeters in length. A और B से 2 circles draw करने हैं. One with radius 5, the second one with radius 3, and then you have to construct tangents to either circle from the center of the other circle. ये एक्सरसाइज का क्वेश्चन है. कंस्ट्रक्शन जब भी आएगी बेटा एक्सरसाइज में जो क्वेश्चंस दिए हैं ना उन्हीं पे ही आएगी. सिर्फ वैल्यूज चेंज हो सकती हैं, आइदर द लेंथ्स और द एंगल्स. इससे ज्यादा नहीं मॉडिफिकेशन होगी. 25th question is from your chapter number 8. Tangent A is 3/4. Find the value of 1 over sine A, 1 over cos A. You could also find out directly like this. Cosecant A plus secant A. यहाँ से आप निकाल सकते हो. This will be P by B. You will find out H and then you can find out the 2 ratios and find out your answer. बहुत simple sum है ये. Second one, √3 sin theta minus cos theta equals to 0. You have to find theta. अब ये सेकंड ऑप्शन इजियर है, पहले में ज्यादा काम है, इसमें कम काम है. √3 sin theta will be equal to cos theta. From here, tangent theta will be equal to 1 by √3. तो ये 2 या 3 स्टेप्स में आप आंसर दे सकते हो कंपेयर टू द अदर ऑप्शन यू हैव हियर. Question number 26, you have a quadrilateral circumscribing a circle with center O. The radius is 10 centimeters for the circle and radius, okay, AD is perpendicular to AB. You have a perpendicular here. Find the value of X. Observe the picture very carefully. Tangent from C has length 27. So this length CR will be equal to CQ. This would mean this is 27. Can you find out QB now? आपको टोटल लेंथ CB 38 दी है. Can you tell me what will be the length of QB? This will be 11 centimeters. And now going back to your circle here, if we join points O and P, the shape obtained here, APOS, it's a quadrilateral. What can you say about this quadrilateral? It's a square. Can you explain how? I can see one angle 90 degree here. What about the sides? Okay, 90 degree angle where? At the two radii. Okay, at the points of contact. Since we have tangent at S, this will be point of contact and the angle formed here will be 90 degree. Similarly, we have a tangent at P. The angle formed here will also be 90 degrees. And if we look at the